Morning all. Guess what I'm on? Hey. It is an electric Cypher. We are off for a ride. It is just about to rain. It is throwing up a gale, and no doubt I am going to get soaked, but what the hell. So, electric Cypher. Haven't ridden one of these for a while. Great little bike for pottering around town, and it gets up to 30 miles an hour very, very quickly, straight there. How about that? Absolutely love these bikes. Now, long range, it's not a good one if you happen to be doing 20 or 30 miles a day, because the range on these is around about 35 to 40 miles on a full charge in eco mode. And currently we are in power mode. In power mode, you're going to be looking around about, economically, 30 to 35, or maybe less, depending on how much you use that power mode. But disc brakes front and back. Great little bike if you happen to be local, so within about 3 or 4 miles, and you just fancy using it to get backwards and forwards to work. No tax on one of these. Insurance is cheap as chips, being an electric bike, and everything on it is LED, so very, very low on the power. Come on cars, let's go. Letting everybody out as usual. So try and keep the rain spots off of the camera as we have a little run around. Now, being a 30 mile an hour bike, we're going to do some local roads. We're going to do a totally different ride route. I'm just going to go out, ride, and just see where we get to. We've sorted the potholes out nearly on that little bit of road. There's normally about 21 potholes there. There's about 5 now, so for 0 to 30 time and speed getting up, boom, it's straight there. It doesn't hang around. It's a great little bike for running around. Good if you happen to be 16, because you can ride this on a CBT at 16, as it is classed as a 50cc bike. So great little bike if you happen to want something different. You don't fancy a twist and go petrol ped, but obviously you're going to be charging every 40 miles, so very easy. Get it home, it's quick enough to fit into your garage or down your hallway, and the charger goes down there on the right hand side of the bike. So 240 volt charger, plug it in, as well as about 8 foot of cable on it, so you can plug it all in, do the job and charge it up. Takes about 4 hours to get to 100% charge, which is what we are at the moment. So just been recently charged and put in the showroom. Now with these, we always say run the battery all the way down. Don't just keep doing 60% topping it up, 60% topping it up. Run the battery all the way down and then give it a big charge. That is the easiest way. Obviously if you're only doing 20 miles a day, there's enough there for 2 days. If you're doing it on a weekly basis, then just top it up once a week, but try and deplete the battery as much as you can, because if you just keep topping it up from 60% up, 60% up, the battery will pick that up, and then eventually over time you will find that the battery levels start dropping off. So every now and then just completely deplete the battery to get a decent charge back into the bike. It's a bit like your mobile phone. Keep topping it up, topping it up, topping it up, and then after about a year or so, my battery's not, my phone only lasts X amount of hours. Yes, that'll be the reason why. Try and deplete everything as much as you can, but for handling wise, you can throw this around. It is as light as a feather. Only downside obviously being only 30 mile an hour. Once you get to 30, that is it. The bike tops out and will not do any more. So currently we're at 29. Will not go over 30, even down the hill. You'll find that it kicks in and holds you at 30 on that motor. So it's got the 1500 watt motor in this, the big battery which is on the side. Yes, you can remove it, but it's an absolute pain in the bum, and easier to charge on the bike. Now if you do want a spare battery for one of these, they are hellishly expensive, Well, the last time we checked, because obviously I run the Cypher owners page on Facebook, battery on one of these is roughly around about 1,700 quid. But the warranty on these, compared to a 50cc where you get 2 years, you'll get 2 years on the bike and 3 years on the motor and the battery on a Cypher. And for the money, it's a great bike. So obviously if you want a little bit more investment, you just fancy something backwards and forwards to work or college or school, it is an ideal bike. Now, one of our female customers has got one of these, Kirian. She owns a Cypher and she's had hers for about 3 years, and so far so good. She's only had a couple of issues. One thing that we did find with the Cyphers, and it may be just a one-off thing, but down here, and we're looking just down to the left of the bike, if you look down where my hand is pointing, that is all your power cables. Now obviously, turning the bike left, right, left, right, left, right, it does over time stretch those cables down there. And she came in at a dash issue. Time we investigated it and found it, there was a couple of breaks in the wires down there, but obviously she cranked up about 4,500 miles, and it was very easy just to split the loom, get in, redo the wires, lengthen them up a little bit, and job's a good one, re-sheath the loom. So that is one of the things that we found with the Cypher. Over time that cable does stretch down there, otherwise they're all good. Now there is a way of unrestricting these to get more power, and yes, they will do around about 45-50 mile an hour in unrestricted mode, but, and there is a big but on this, if you do unrestrict the bike, you're going to be stressing the battery, the controller and the motor. They are designed in the factory for 30 mile an hour with that controller. If you do unrestrict it, you are going to void the warranty on the bike and the battery and the controller. So take it on your own head. If you do want a little bit more power and you want to blat around from A to B, you are going to be stressing the motor, the battery and the controller, and you will put the bike out of warranty, and you will easily find out if the bike has been used in unrestricted mode. There is a way of actually getting on and diagnostic testing it to find if it's been used in unrestricted mode. So do not do unless you don't want to use your warranty. And then if you do, obviously, as one person did with the Cypher, oh, my bike's only lasted 9 months. Yes. Have you been riding in unrestricted mode? Yes. Well, I went and watched this video of this guy how to unrestrict a Cypher, and unfortunately it wasn't my video. Someone had copied how to unrestrict a Cypher video without the disclaimer, and he hadn't mentioned, obviously, if you do unrestrict, you're going to avoid the warranty on the battery, the controller and the motor. And of course, when he complained to Lexmoto, and they were like, oh no, sorry, you've unrestricted the bike, you know, you've not got no warranty. Well, I wasn't told that when I watched his YouTube video, so I am just going to make you all aware again, if you do unrestrict the bike, you are voiding any warranty on the bike, and yes, it will go a lot faster. 45-50 mile an hour you will get out of one of these, but your charge will come down to about 20 miles an hour, so stick to 30. And if you do want to know how to unrestrict one, go and check out my channel and put Lexmoto Cypher how to unrestrict. You will find my video in there, and it shows you how to do it, but it is on your own head. The disclaimer has been said again, and I have to be very, very to the point on this. Lexmoto will not honour your warranty if you unrestrict. Dash is very easy to read. There is a reverse on this as well, should you want to reverse it into gaps. Basically apply everything and you hit the little R button that is the bottom right blue button there. On this you've got a DTC button, you've got a reset button, so that's your top left, top right, and then you've got a select function at the bottom which brings all your different clocks up for you. Holding the DTC button, what it will do, if you hold it down long enough, it will give you the fault codes on the screen. So if you do have an issue with your bike, click the DTC, that will give you the fault codes which you can take a photo of, call Lexmoto or pop into your local dealer and go, I've got these codes, this is what it is. And that is how we use the fault codes to identify what the issue is with the bike. Yeah, normally a speed camera along here, but I'm doing 29 mile an hour, so happy days. Not going to be breaking any speed limits today. The reset button will just reset all the clocks for you. If you press that down, it just zeroes everything out. So very easy, that one. So that is what them buttons will do. Now on the display, and it's obviously very hard to see at the moment because I have got my iridium visor on. I've got my silver visor on today, so I can't see the clocks very well, but I know I'm only going to be doing 30 mile an hour. You've got battery charge. In the middle, your mileage or miles an hour. Right hand side, total trip or total mileage. And then down the bottom, your ready light, which tells you the bike is ready. And then you also have down there as well your temperatures, which is your battery temperature, which is currently running at 24 degrees. So the batteries are nice and cool. They do have a little grid at the front, so it just gets a bit of airflow through there and cools off the battery. It's big lithium battery, but the brakes on this are really efficient. And I absolutely love pottering around on these. You can just weave, and it is so tiny that you can get through the smallest gap. You can filter at 30 mile an hour. But it's great just for scooting around town, and obviously the bar width on these being very small, doesn't take long to obviously pop it inside your front door and put it in the hall or wherever you want to put it, or even if you've got an alley and you want to slide down your back passage. That sounded wrong, but it fits into any gap, and being such a short wheelbase, you'll find it's very easily manoeuvrable. You can just literally throw this bike around. Absolutely love them. And obviously that with the colour coordinated brake reservoirs there, the little screen, all the LED lights, very bright. And being such a tiny bike, I would say this is around about the same size as sort of your Benelli TNT or your Honda Grom, or even the Lexmoto. Right, this was actually styled on that shape of bike, and they've obviously hooked it out and stuck an electric motor in the rear. But for running around, lovely little bit of kit. So let's just do an eco mode and just see, counting wise, how quick we can get this up to 30 mile an hour, and then we'll do it on the power mode. So full throttle, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 seconds to get that up. Let's just wipe the camera because we've got loads of rain inbound. Here we go again. RB's getting wet. Clean the other drift camera. So we're using 2 cameras today. We're going round the roundabout here. Now eco mode will obviously save your battery. Takes you a little bit longer to get to 30 mile an hour. There we go. About 9 seconds. So the same as your twist and go ped. So if you've got something like an Echo or your any 50cc scooter, it's going to take you about the same amount of time in eco mode to get to 30. Now obviously on a hill, let's just pull in for a second, check my mirrors to the rear. Let's go full power mode. Here we go. And for big, try not to grab too much full throttle because you can pop the front wheel on one of these. Yes, you can wheelie a Cypher. Right, here we go, full throttle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're there we go. About 5 and a bit seconds. On the flats you can normally do it in about 4, but hill climb, there we go, it's holding 28 mile an hour climbing a hill on the flat. Now this is where we did the first Cypher video where I dropped a few F-bombs when I was quite amazed with the power. But electric bikes, are they going to be all the rage, or do people just still prefer their petrol bikes? Obviously with the supply of petrol and petrol going up at the moment, everybody is looking at electric motorcycles, but if they had a better range, and obviously a longer lasting battery, then they would be the in thing. But charging points you can't get to. Obviously this one charges at home, makes life easier, but then you've got the problem of charging points, charging at home, and then your range as well. So that is another big thing. Whether they will sort of grab on in the next few years, I don't know. I have ridden like the Zeros and the Socos, and we had a Zero in for MOT, very impressed with those, but obviously no exhaust noise. And then you've obviously got the risk of car drivers only seeing you and not hearing you. If you've got a nice loud pipe on your bike, they're going to hear you coming. And I know there are a lot of electric haters out there. Let's go back round the houses one more time. On the flat, there we go, straight to 30, bing, instantly. And it is starting to rain now, lovely, horrible weather. As you can see, brakes are really, really good. Right, let's just do a little bit sort of round the local estate, stuff that we haven't done before. Wipe the camera, have a cough. But just sort of pottering round your local roads, absolutely lovely. And it does handle very, very well for a little electric bike. Obviously just no noise on it, but low speed handling, all good. Brakes are all good. Very easy to use, all the controls. Got all the standard controls that you would find on a petrol bike. Apart from a kickstart, obviously you haven't got to change the oil, you haven't got to mess around with spark plugs. So very, very easy to maintain. These literally, all these need on a service is quick diagnostic scan, checking for codes, and then obviously we do motor clean, controller clean, clean all the battery compartment out, make sure everything is all good. But for around town use, absolutely lovely. Right, I think cup of coffee time is needed. It's starting to chuck it down now. RB is starting to get very, very wet. And we are currently at, what are we at? I can't see. 90% charge. We've used 10% and we've done 6 miles, which is good. So if you work that out, 10%, 6 miles. Work that out over the rest of it, it's going to be about 60 miles. No, it's only because I'm pottering around town on eco and power mode. So average around about 40 miles on one of these bikes. As always, if you enjoyed watching me getting wet and keep wiping the camera, drop your comments down below. Do you think electric bikes are going to be the in thing? Is it just a fad? Are they really worth the money? Because you'll be saving on obviously fuel charges, tax, insurance, that you would obviously be spending on a 50cc. So is this going to be the in thing? Electric bikes. If you own a Cypher, let us know what you think. As always, description down below. Go in and see all the other bikers we follow. Wednesday nights at Midweek Mumble with Peaky Biker. Friday night's live stream with me, Red Bump. And if you are interested in electrics, we have a couple of Cyphers in stock at Eclipse motorcycles, along with the AJS range that we've now taken on. So if you're interested in one of those, come and let us know. But until the next time, be well, ride safe, and from RB, it's a big goodbye from me.